Hello, honey roses. Welcome to Milk Honey Rose. So this message is about how you have people around you that appreciate the life that you speak, not just into them, but into others as well. They see that you are very abundant in spirit. You are very abundant in what you do and how you move. And every action that you take shows that you are very intentional. You have like this keen intentionality that brings about this feeling of comfort and love, and you exude appreciation for oneself, and you make those who don't feel like they appreciate themselves, you make them appreciate the little things about them that they didn't pay attention to before. Okay, you are someone who has been hurt before, and you have had, it looks like money issues, or just individuals that someone tried to control you with money. That's what I'm seeing here, like manipulation. You've had that happen to you, where now you've come to this place in life where you don't really like asking individuals for anything, because you don't trust. It's like you feel like you have to trust someone to accept from them, and it's just because of traumatic experiences where you really don't like to ask for anything. You'd rather practice your independence, and that's not good all the time, just because we know life can get challenging, and sometimes people need help. Sometimes you needed help and you didn't ask, but it's just there was intention behind that, because you don't want to take anything from someone who doesn't mean you well. Some people have hidden motives, and I feel like because of the experiences that you've had, it's hard for you to accept from individuals when they or if anybody wants to help. It makes it difficult for you because of the trauma. However, I feel like you want to work on that in some way, to at least be more open to hearing someone out that may want to be there for you. It doesn't have to be financially. It could also be emotionally. It's just difficult because so many people are so low vibrational that you don't even trust many to let them in too close. And I get it. I get that. However, it's like Spirit is saying that when the right individual comes around, you will know who you can actually open up to. Okay? Because that's a big reason why many don't open up to people, because you can't trust them with your more vulnerable topics in regards to things that you've done and situations that you've experienced. Just so many people walk this earth and they're very immature when it comes to their perspective, and how they're so quick to criticize as opposed to listen and just hear somebody out, because they just miss the whole point. And you're so tired of that there's a certain aspect of you that's very shielded. You close off your personals just to avoid unnecessary annoyances from people who just lack understanding. Okay? However, Spirit is saying that you've struggled, you've been depressed, you had burnout, you were like stressed. You handled a lot more than you even thought that you could, because through continuing to move forward, you recognized aspects of yourself and your personality that you never really took into account so much until you actually continued to move, and you analyzed yourself in these moves that you made. So you have someone that sees all of that, and they're looking at you like a star. You're like a good luck charm. You're someone who is very charming. Okay? I see you as charming, and this person sees you as charming because of how this message is coming to me here. You have a lot of love regardless of how many times you've been pained in situations that people brought to you, presented to you. You still know what it is that you want to attract, which is love and appreciation, respect, and to have a sense of vulnerability. It's actually healthy to be transparent and have that vulnerability, because it's the truth in you, and it could be intimidating, just because there's so many. It feels like there's more people that you can't trust nowadays than you can trust, and that's just off the strength of people having distortion of their mind, because they don't know what to follow, so they follow the masses. And when you follow those norms that aren't really normal, then you get confused as to how, the best way to live. And the best way to live is to be supportive and loving of one another, instead of the opposite, which is to be hateful and malicious towards one another. Okay. However, you're on the spectrum of being loving and supportive. That's what you want, because that's who you truly are. Spirit is saying, remember that all of those experiences where you were hurt, they were just lessons for you to learn, so that you can be able to weed out those who aren't meant in your life and accept those who are meant for you, and those who are truly divinely aligned with you, because divine alignment is a real thing, and there are individuals that are like you. It's just that due to the lack of understanding through the spiritual journey that you've been on, you had a tendency to love so hard that you would love individuals that don't love you back. However, you learn from that, and that's the key. It's about the lesson that you learn from it and not doing it again. And it's hard because many times those that you cared about the most are the ones who hurt you. Okay? And then there could be something attached to them, no matter what it is. No matter if it's in between the sheets activity, no matter if it's certain aspects of their personality, no matter if they make you laugh. But if the same person that makes you laugh also makes you cry, it makes it difficult for you to be trusting in certain individuals. And it's just a life full of lessons. And the best thing that you did for yourself is learn from them, so you don't catch yourself making the same mistake. Like, imagine really being attracted to someone physically and in between the sheets, very attractive, because they know how to do it right. So imagine, which many of you could have dealt with this, being very attracted to someone on that level, but they don't treat you right though. They really disrespectful, they rude, they talk to you crazy sideways. And because you are so drawn to them physically and with their how they wield their wand, okay, it could really distort your view of yourself, because it's like they do me right in that area. However, when I'm talking to them, when no in between the sheets activity is involved, they got me feeling like chop suey, chop meat. Like, do you even look at me like a human? Do you even respect me? And you could tell that you're not being respected off the strength of how you feel, because this person is talking to you crazy. Now, many of you could have gone through that. You had to learn from that. And it's hard because when you feed the flesh, the flesh want to be fed over and over again. The flesh wants to eat, okay? As soon as you give the flesh a taste, it becomes like a craving that happens within you. And if it's not satisfied, you could catch an attitude, or you could just go all out once you do decide to get back to it. And then it's like you could still feel empty after that. That's the bad part about it. That's what really is harmful to the spirit and the soul, to accommodate the flesh and then kind of ignore the spirit and the soul. And so because you've learned from these experiences and you've chose to pay attention to your spirit and your soul and how you truly feel and what makes you truly happy, you've learned discipline in the areas where you felt weak. And now you're starting to feel different about yourself. You're starting to respect yourself more, to the point where you're not going to allow certain people, no matter how good the goods are, to just be in your life, because it's not fulfilling. It's only that the fulfillment is temporary, and that's what's so demeaning. That's what's so degrading, that many times in life you may have realized that you accepted the bare minimum when you deserve it all. It's almost like, I'll just take what I could get. But that's not really the life that we're supposed to be living. I could take what I could get is crazy, because God wants you to have it all, okay? It's just that you must learn discipline in order to show that you're responsible enough to have it all. And that's the part that's hard. Ooh, that's hard. I know. I know. It's not easy. However, if you want true happiness, that's what needs to be done. If you don't, and you don't care, and you just okay with temporary satisfactions, then that's what you've chosen. However, if you want that long-term effect, then the discipline is required. Otherwise, it's always going to be temporary, and you're always going to be chasing a feeling of satisfaction instead of just having it with you all the time. Okay? So, for who I'm talking to, you've learned from your choosing to be disciplined, and it has catapulted you in a way of self-reflection that actually makes you smile. You actually are proud of yourself. And when you're proud of yourself, you have the ability to be proud of others. You have the ability to uplift your friends and your family without feeling like you're being drained. You have the ability to see when it comes to a route to take. You allow spirit to speak through you, and you take action accordingly. That's love, that's life, that's truth. And that is why so many people look at you as a gift. You are looked at as a gift to many people, like you're a gift to the world, especially when you speak. So spirit is saying, please don't stop speaking. The words that you speak are healing, and spirit is saying that you are one of their best warriors, because you choose to speak when you could be quiet, and you say words of affirmation that are healing. But the crazy part about it is that the words of affirmation come from your truth of experience. Your experience is your words of affirmation. They become your words of affirmation because you've been through some things. So being that you have been through some things, it just increases the potency of your words because they're true. Okay? And in order to ascend, not just yourself, but those around you, without feeling like you're overextending yourself, you do that through speaking the truth about what you've learned from your own life experiences. And it's not meant to be difficult, because it's just you talking the truth about your life. It's easy to speak the truth. It's difficult to lie, because it ends up, it's just not right. It causes all types of problems within your life. It causes all types of problems, not just with the spirit and the soul, but it causes problems in relationships and just in life in general. However, that's why when you speak truth, it makes you feel good. It's nourishing to your soul. That's because you've spoken truth to yourself and you've been honest with yourself. This is why people actually want to be around you. They want to know how you're doing. They want to come see you. They want you to go with them to places and be around them and stuff like that. These are individuals that look at you as someone who is very loving, abundant, and attentive. It's just that you are someone who has to be watchful of those who just want to siphon your energy and use it as if it's their own, and then use you like you a gas pump or ATM or something, and then they just want to take from you, but they don't give back. You must be around individuals who know how to reciprocate, because if they don't, then you're going to end up feeling drained. And you'll know when you feel drained, because you'll feel tired after being around a certain person. You'll feel like, oh gosh, they calling me, I don't want to talk to them. You know, you'll feel like that. You'll feel like their energy drains you, you know, or you'll feel like excited to speak to them. But sometimes your energy could just be drained just because you've been doing a lot, and you just have to be ready, because this is just life. Sometimes you need to be ready for certain things in order for you to come correct when people reach out to you. So you don't want to affect anyone with your energy, so sometimes you might fall back from people just off the strength of that. However, you've learned so much that spirit just wants to express gratitude to you for helping them. When we learn how to live life on divine alignment, or live life within divine alignment, we actually help spirit to help us, and we raise the frequency of the earth together as one. So the more that realize and recognize the true meaning of life. You know, even though being that we all have our own will, everyone's meaning is a little different. However, if you choose divine alignment, the meaning is the same. You see? I hope you understood what I said. When you choose divine alignment, the meaning of life is the same for those who are on that path. To ascend, uplift, encourage, and leave a remnants of you here. That's why it's important to like write books and do videos where your voice is heard and I don't know, speak, be a speaker, not motivational speaker, but just a speaker. Speak about whatever. Even if you are a motivational speaker, it doesn't even matter. It's the point of the energy that you are giving to the world it's impressive because of what you chose. You chose the difficult path, which leads you to the greatest result, instead of choosing the easy route that gives like this facade of happiness, but deep down inside, many aren't happy that choose that route. Those who are truly happy are the ones that understand the value of hard work because they worked it, because they did it. And then the reward, the blessing becomes so much more sweet because of the understanding. Okay? So that is it for this message. Everything you do with love. Visit www.milkhoneyrose.org and join my membership to support me. Thank you. Sending my love to you and see you in the next one.